John is my favorite tradcath waifu.
See, I feel like I'm a trophy waifu, though, like you can't just give me a streaming service. You've gotta buy me like the actual like anime volumes.
I wish we could have a basic sense of professionalism on this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
This is insane.
That'd be pretty neat. Hello and welcome to the Benzo Rehab Dungeon, episode 103.
Damn.
It is the 5th of August, 2022. I am your host, Michael Deebs, joined as sometimes by co-host Danko Suvin from the Instagram handle at Dankdaluz, and joined very intermittently by John, the producer, from the Instagram handle at Discopathic, where you can cyber bully him. John, how are you doing today, sir?
It's good to be back after going for all those other interviews for podcast producer. But it's good to be back. After our renegotiation of my contract and salary.
Yeah,
I'm excited to be part of the screenplay, the 4 YouTube version of a boy called It that we're going to be producing, and also my new lucrative salary.
Yeah,
that you're going to tell me about.
You're playing the boy called It. That's what we settled on. I forgot.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't come back to like
play
one of the older brothers. No,
hold on.
Stop.
Why
We're doing
am
like
I
a
cast
Hamilton
as Pennywise?
Well, yeah, that's a different one. We're actually
really
doing
upset about this.
We're doing a Hamilton thing, but with a boy called It. The cast is all POCs now. That's terrible. That's a real person's life story, guys. Come on.
Wasn't
yeah.
that? Oh no, that was a million or 1,000 little pieces. That was the fake one, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think a boy called It was the real one. I'm pretty sure.
From my remembrance, it was the real one.
Yeah, I don't enjoy reading about the suffering of others. So
well, yeah, that's why we're gonna do a live action performance of it.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
no reading involved, kids.
The other Hamilton element of it is we're all gonna do rap segments.
Yeah,
so it'd be like, I've been beating my little brother because I see him as another, and I don't care that he drinks bleach because I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I couldn't think of a rhyme for bleach while I was going through that. That was all freestyle, guys. That was all
Damn.
freestyle.
And then imagine me, basement set inside the constructed like child pig pen that my mother's created for me as I sing the song called, and I'm in like a dirty diaper, even though like
not as a fetish thing.
Playing
not
a
as a
10-year-old.
fetish thing.
Yeah, no, it's because I have to wear the diaper. And then I sing the song, and it's a beautiful song, like everybody's really going to like relate to me, and the character, of course, or it,
Yeah.
And the name of the song is going to be called "Feeding Time."
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a little bit dark, man, I gotta say. Let's transition from that to
asking me how I am.
Yeah, to asking you how you are is actually what I was gonna transition to, because you're on an equal footing as beating children.
Yeah, well, I mean that it actually fits really well with the rap that I have prepared for this, which is it's dead in the middle of little did we know we riddled 2 little kids who didn't do diddly. We just beat the shit out of children on the street.
I could almost hear that in Lin-Manuel Miranda's voice.
I'm gonna be
we diddling.
instead of doing it on the subway, I'm gonna do it on my my fucking 6 a.m. flight. I'm just gonna keep repeating that in Lin-Manuel Miranda's voice.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Anyway, dude, I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. Yeah. Did you know that the unemployment rate right now is around like I think it's like 3.4 or something like that?
Well, that's the lowest
So
been in a while.
yeah, you know, it's not so bad, which is going to be really fun because you know the Federal Reserve really wants to push that up to 6.
Well, yeah. So let's go ahead and go to our first.
Oh, is it related?
First link, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Not prepping wins again.
This is why John, the producer, came back to our podcast after interviewing with others, is because he does things like lose the mouse and forgets that he's supposed to be the guy in charge of links, and yeah.
That's actually my
Hey.
favorite party game to play with John is lose the mouse.
Ooh.
Oh.
Anyway.
So
that's the one played with a glass speculum, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or pickle jar.
one guy, one glass speculum, one mouse. So you all may have seen this. Sure, Danko did, John maybe not. But this leaked memo from Bank of America that The Intercept got a hold of. And the title of this article is Bank of America Memo Revealed. We hope conditions for American workers will get worse. Go ahead and go down to should be like a picture of it.
A picture of the oh, here we are. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. Yeah. Well, shoot, I forget exactly where it, I had this link like way too early in the week after.
How dare you? You fucking idiot.
Somewhere in here.
Wait.
Sick of this shit. This
Somewhere in
unprofessional
here,
bullshit.
What's the excuse? This is the picture of the memo, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I forget exactly where it says. It specifically says we hope the conditions get worse for workers, because that's like a real thorn in our side right now.
Look, we get it. You've been distracted by the thought of Nancy Pelosi's mommy milkers flopping all the way in Taiwan, you know.
That is
So
correct,
it's
yeah.
been distracting for all of us. So I mean, of course, you're gonna fuck up your job.
Go back to the article and maybe just go back up to the top. Say everything. So Bank of America executives stated that we hope working Americans will lose leverage in the labor market in a recent private memo obtained by The Intercept, making predictions for clients about the U.S. economy over the next several years. The memo also noted that changes in the percentage of Americans seeking jobs should help push up the unemployment rate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So literally exactly what you were saying. The Fed is trying to cause more unemployment, which is bad for people who like being employed, but good for the not the economy necessarily, but the stock market and financial investors, that sort of. By economy, I mean the real economy of people like not living in precarity and being able to feed themselves adequately. And that's the real economy versus weirdo sick banker fucks.
Yeah.
Sit in their ivory towers and think about new ways to shit on all.
Well, and so for being such practical money people, like, isn't it kind of weird to like, I don't know, I feel like it's like the insinuation that like business owners like need to like stay strong and like play hard to get to weaken fucking workers.
Yeah, I mean there's a little bit of that, and then there's just the basic concept. A lot of the inflation we're seeing is companies deciding that they can raise prices arbitrarily. there is shortages, of course, also playing into this. You know, we're seeing companies making record profits because
Yeah.
they overproduced for a very long time, and now they're dialing back the way that they're creating false scarcity, and that false scarcity that they themselves have now created being used as a justification for.
Yeah, and then there's the admittedly inhuman, but this is I'm sure part of the calculation. But if you have fewer people that have money to spend on things, companies won't increase their prices as much, so you decrease inflation. You don't decrease it, you decrease the increase.
Yeah.
Like the rate of inflation. Which
So you
still
stop,
isn't it's
yeah.
good for the people with money.
You stop inflation by just killing off a couple of.
No, you have to keep them around. You have to keep them around, but they can't buy anything.
Okay, yeah, you have to keep them around, but they're miserable.
Yes. Increasing human misery for, just 6% of the population, so that the people with huge savings accounts don't see it decrease as much,
Right.
as if their money is in savings accounts.
And
It's not.
most of the problem, I mean, the fear here is that, if worker wages keep rising really fast, inflation's only, and this could have been something that was mitigated over by like gradually. That's a living wage, and now that there's these huge voids in a lot of different labor markets. Huge voids caused by people deciding to retire early because the world got real shitty. People just plain dying because the world got shitty. People now being like on disability because pandemic happened recently. Or just unemployment in general. But not quite so much anymore because obviously the unemployment rate is. But there's been like a void of labor, and a lot of this also has to do policy at the border. And yeah, so what was it? Oh yeah, labor shortages. So you have people who are advocating for better wages for themselves because they see all these vacancies, and they know that they have leverage because companies are kind of desperate for workers in a lot of cases. The Fed seeks to make sure that can't happen. People in general have to make a shitty wage and kind of steer this back in quote unquote right direction. Obviously, it's not the right way to do it because it's up. But the math technically works out, but it's like evil math. There's like a gooder math that you could probably to make this whole thing work.
I mean, it's just the fundamental problem that the economy functions the way that it does.
Yeah.
Right.
Well-
So we probably should have a system that's not this one.
Well, yeah. Well, and I mean, like, granted, I do agree that like we should have been increasing the minimum wage this whole time. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but that problem of like suddenly increasing the minimum wage, I really only believe that affects like small businesses, like just a local business,
For sure.
or maybe somebody who has potentially maybe a largish small business, not a corporation.
Right. It's something
yeah.
I've told
Which
people.
most of us are like, there aren't small businesses anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that I've told people in every, like, I don't know, awful minimum wage job that I've ever had or close to it, which is that if they increase minimum wage, they're probably not going to fire a bunch of people because they don't hire more people than they need anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the fundamental reality of jobs like that.
And then
So yeah, I mean, like a company that has 2 employees so that they can stay open it might be affected because they sell like shirts with nipples on them, and they make 2 sales a week or something like that. But that company probably doesn't need to exist anyway. But also, I just this is maybe a different topic, but I got this new car, and it runs on dog blood.
Oh man, that's
and I'm thinking that and I've noticed actually that now all cars run on dog blood, and I'm not sure what happened, but just I think God just snapped his fingers.
Before
and now we all
anybody
have dog blood cars.
starts real quick, before anybody starts like raising the alarm, it's a renewable source. Go on.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. As a dog, for the listener,
Well,
I am
you're
currently
kind of
a dog.
You're a little bit.
Yeah, foxes, whatever. I'm a furry now, guys. But anyway, so the problem the problem is that I keep finding dogs to drain in multiple ways. But really the real problem here is that there are only dog draining cars.
Yeah.
Right. So it does work. Like it works. It does make me go zoom zoom vroom vroom boom boom, but
and who are we to judge progress? Even if it's just the basic function of moving forward physically and not in any kind of
locomotion. Am I right? Shit's crazy.
Living la vida loco. Very cool. Dog blood. The car's made out of the cars that use it.
Cars, yeah. If you hold on, so my advice from before: if you want to cheat on your wife, get a car that runs on dog blood. Anyway, what's next?
Babe, I was out getting dogs.
Those slurping sounds were the dogs.
Great. So we're gonna try to keep this a little bit of a shorter episode, understanding that you have a little bit of travel time tomorrow and you need to wake up.
I'll be up at 3 a.m.
Hell yeah. But our topic for tonight, and people who clicked on this see the title, the NazBol hole. And so people may wonder to themselves, well, what in the heck is a NazBol? And this video that you found, I guess, kind of describes it pretty decently. It at least describes the mentality of a lot of people getting involved with it. Maybe not so much the anarcho part, but other parts. The anarcho part is a little tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, shout out J-Reg or Dreg. I'm not sure how he's actually supposed to be pronounced, but this guy's he's a great funny politics YouTuber.
Yeah, so shout out to this guy. Maybe scroll down a bit. So it's J-R-E.
Yeah, Dreg.
Junior Egg.
Yeah.
Or Junior Egg.
Well, his name is Greg, so I think it's Dreg.
Oh, okay.
Or something.
It's definitely Junior.
Greg, but with a J.
Oh my god, who knows? Hey, Dreg, fucking DM me and let me know how the fuck I pronounce your name.
Gonna do that with his nearly 500,000 views.
He follows me, bitch.
Sorry,
I'm fancy.
Oh right. Shit.
He doesn't watch the podcast. He doesn't give a shit about me. He just likes my memes. They only like me for my memes.
Yeah, I was gonna say he sounded like a jilted lover there. Like you only like me for my memes.
Look, dating is hard right now, man. Yeah. It's real fucking rough.
I just imagine you like scantily clad, holding memes over your chest, like. And what if I got rid of these? Then what would you do? You wouldn't be around here anymore, would you?
I mean, those are the 3 stages of insecurity in my relationships over the last couple of years, which is stage 1, you only like me for my Magnum Dong.
Of course.
And then I stop taking the gas station dick pills, and that wears off. And then
Because the shakes
I'm
get
like,
too
wait,
bad.
you only like me for my memes. And then stage 3, I take my schizophrenia medication.
Okay. You realize it was you all along.
It was, but yeah, fun fact for everyone, for all the schizophrenics in the audience: gas station dick pills work.
There you go. That's what they should know about.
No, for your schizophrenia.
Oh,
Not for your dick. They don't do shit for your
Oh.
dick. If your dick doesn't work, there's no hope. There aren't any pills in existence. There is no medication that solves erectile dysfunction. the only pills that do anything out there is no medication that does anything actually, except for the cure for schizophrenia, which is gas station dick pills, especially the ones that have like a rhino on fire on it, you know?
Yeah.
for sure.
You know, like
Yeah.
a gas station tweaker has told me these exact things.
It's
Oh, it
yeah,
must be true.
it's
Yeah.
common knowledge
He's an expert
in a
in
certain
his field.
community.
Yeah, that it takes the edge off the meth.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, Danko said there's no pill that works for erectile dysfunction, and thankfully we have smokables like meth.
I was gonna say, but there is a needle. Just saline
Good.
in
Now
here.
that we've once
Yeah.
again advocated for people to take drugs that they shouldn't take. Let's go ahead and watch this guy do a goofy explanation of NazBolism, but also anarcho-NazBolism.
Oh yeah.
The zany take.
Mom, Dad, this is difficult for me to say, but I guess I should just say it. I'm a NazBol. I'm sorry, a narco what? An anarcho-NazBol, Mom. I've been one for a very long time. Is this one of those 4chan Tumblr things? No, Mom, it's not a 4chan Tumblr thing, though that is where I picked it up. And, why don't you tell us what this means, son? I'm glad you asked, Dad. You see, NazBol stands for National Bolshevik. It's a party that combines the economic system of the communists with the, let's say, cultural policy of the Nazis. And what's this anarcho all about? Mom, everyone knows that the government is lame nowadays. That's why I'm a National Bolshevik that doesn't believe in a state. Anarcho-NazBol. Son, I know it's tempting, but you can't just add anarcho in front of every ideology to make it sound cooler. Yes, you can. Monarchism sucks, but anarcho-monarchism is really cool. And don't even get me started on anarcho-Poseidism. Son, please, you're scaring your mother. It's okay, dear. It's okay. Narco-Poseidism. Christ, we need to get this kid off the internet. Son, I know you don't want to hear this, but it sounds like you're just making things up to feel special. No, Dad, I'm not. My ideology is real and valid, and you don't have to agree with everything I'm saying, but you do have to give me a platform to espouse my beliefs. But son, the Nazis killed 5 million people, and the communists killed 50 million people. Exactly. Put them together, and we can kill 55 million people. Oh, come on, son. How many people actually believe in this ideology? Our numbers are in the tens of thousands. Unironically. Oh, maybe like 6? Son, I have to say, I'm disappointed in you. Not because you chose to follow a niche ideology, but because you didn't research it very well before you chose to follow it. Oh dear, go easy on him. No, Karen, he has to hear this. Son, are you even aware of the fact that identifying as a National Bolshevik outside of the context of Russia is completely meaningless? No, Dad, you don't understand. Kyle's an anarcho-NazBol too, and he... Ah, Kyle. Is he the one who's been a NEET for 5 years now? He really knows his stuff. And there's this anarcho-NazBol YouTuber I watch all the time. Son, you can't just have a conversation with a friend and then all of a sudden decide that you're following an ideology. Your dad is right. Labels exist for a reason, but you have to make sure that you're identifying with a label for the right reason. I guess. Now go to your room. No more internet access for a week. Fine. We probably should have known that he was going to turn out to be a NazBol. I mean, what with you being a communist and you being a neo-Nazi. My name is Little Naz, NazBol. Hitler and Stalin are both my bros. I want equality, but not for the Jews. Equality for me, but not for you. The leftists call me fascist, the rightists call me commie. And honestly, they're both right, got a bit of the two in me. Culturally right, economically left. It's crushing me with this.
you missed the best line.
Oh,
The best
go ahead.
line.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Potato baby, please crush me to death.
Crush me with the steak, baby.
I never meant to have a family.
I recently
Oh,
joined
oh, no.
forces.
God.
Oh my God! What a
Yeah.
beautiful ad! What an incredible ad! Holy
John,
shit!
why do you have
that ruled.
autoplay on? Or is that just an ad? Why
That
do you
was
have
an
ads?
ad.
Sign into YouTube
No,
for once.
frankly,
God.
I wish that we watched that ad. That seemed amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean we could watch it
Mom?
actually.
Dad?
No, it's too late now.
Yeah, well,
This is
Anyway,
difficult for me
uh,
to say,
it's
but
gone.
I guess I should just say,
John, just
John,
stop
Mom, Dad.
what the fuck is happening?
it. Again, ladies and gentlemen, why John did not find a job at another podcast?
But anyway, yeah, drag, junior egg, whatever the fuck. If you're watching this, please copyright strike us.
No, don't do that.
Yes. Yes.
We called him out and
In fact,
everything, or shouted him out rather, not called him out.
Yeah, we called him out for being a fucking fascist.
Yeah.
In fact, somebody should probably do a third party copyright strike against
Oh
us.
man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
In fact, the more copyright strikes that we can set up against this channel, the sooner you can help us unionize.
Well, I was gonna say the sooner I can have my Alex Jones censorship art, right?
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
That's
no,
true.
yeah, we go on our freedom of speech PR campaign.
The
Hell yeah.
globalists are
Yeah.
once again trying to silence the Benzo Rehab dungeon. They
Yeah,
keep
well,
saying
we're-
things like, you've encouraged young men and women to smoke meth to cure their erectile dysfunction problems.
Cure their erectile schizophrenia.
They're putting boner pills in the gas stations to cure your schizophrenia, everybody.
do you remember when Alex Jones got caught looking at I'm sorry for the terminology, tranny porn on one of his live
that's what
streams?
he was looking up
Remember that?
specifically.
Yeah, I'm sure that actually was the search terms that he used. That I love that.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
that's
that so
good
much.
stuff.
Freedom of speech, more like freedom of peach. Am I right?
Hey, got a hole it can NazBol, I guess. I don't know. Let's go ahead and go to the first link here, John. Which is a Wikipedia article, which I regret, but
the third link.
I said the next link.
You said the first link.
Oh, I said the
Who?
next link.
I don't care.
No,
The listener doesn't care either.
you said the first link.
I think he probably said the third link because he doesn't know how to count.
Yeah. First off, I'm illiterate. Secondly, go to the link. You know what I meant.
Oh, hell yeah, Wikipedia.
Well, I thought you meant this.
Okay,
If you don't speak plainly,
look, John.
one of us are drunk, and I refuse to admit that it's me.
Okay, well,
We
go
should-
to the
we should
next
get a
link.
producer.
Yeah. This wouldn't even be the third link, anyways. This is actually the fourth link. Given.
That's why I said you
Put
can't
some-
count, you piece of shit. Fuck you.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not going to be reading the description of the National Bolshevik Party. What I wanted to bring this up for was the viewer of the show may notice some similarities between the little National Bolshevik Party seal over there on the right and some other things that we've seen in history.
Yeah, it looks vaguely familiar. What's up
Uh,
with that?
So
It's
we
just
have,
a double-headed eagle on top of a big circle crest holding
Is-
a very
is-
stark red sign. What are you talking about?
Is that a unicorn?
somewhere in there. Oh, no, that's not a unicorn. That's Saint something or other. I forget what his name.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I thought that now that bisexuals were National Bolsheviks or something.
I mean,
No,
why
no,
not?
no,
You can
no.
be a fascist and
So zoom out a little bit so this page makes sense again, and scroll down a little bit more. You're gonna see another flag on the right there that I think is important.
Oh,
that's my favorite one. It's
Um,
really
it's-
cool.
Well,
It's
should we go to
for the
website?
listener again. It's essentially a red flag with a white circle, and imagine a swastika, but it's not. It's just the hammer and
Wait.
hammer and sickle.
The hammer and sickle isn't centered. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not centered. Yeah.
It's
It looks
not
a
centered.
little swastikesh.
But the swastika's centered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
a good
the
point.
difference between old Nazis and neo-Nazis. I've never seen a neo-Nazi like paint a proportional swastika.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're sloppy.
The difference here, hold on, is that the swastika on the Nazi flag, it's not trying to hint at anything. It's just, it is what it is.
Sure.
But this, you can see it's leaning a little bit to the right.
Yeah, it's a tilted hammer and sickle.
It's leaning a little bit to the right.
Right. I get it. Yeah.
It's leaning
Yep.
a little bit to the right.
Is this a dick joke, or are you saying that they're a bit more clever?
No, he's accusing them of right-wing belief.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wait, but are you saying that they're clever, or are you just making a joke?
I think he's making a joke.
Oh,
I don't know. Danko,
that
answer
joke-
for yourself. What are you doing here? What are you doing here, man?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm answering emails.
Explain the joke.
So just in case these comparisons weren't enough, John, go ahead and zoom out again so this page makes and then go to there's a cool picture of people actually holding stuff related
I
to
love that if you looked at these men without any of the rest of the context clues, it's just them standing in a field somewhere, you would still realize that they're fascist oriented.
Right, yeah.
Like and it's not just the short hair, like it's a certain look. You could just feel it.
In a really cool like cross-cultural like mashup. One guy is holding is of course that flag we were talking about that looks suspiciously like the Nazi flag, just with the hammer and sickle in the middle instead. And then this guy's holding up a newspaper, and this big graphic on the newspaper that he's holding up has a picture of Lenin's head with a crossed bones underneath it.
I mean, to be fair, it does look kind of cool.
It does look kind of cool,
Yeah.
but also, people may remember, I forget what it's called in German, but the thing with the skull and the crossbones that the Germans had going on with the.
All right.
Yeah. So very cool cultural mashup there.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair though, like we're not really pointing anything out. Like this is stuff that they'd be willing to admit, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like,
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's something
Like, you
that,
guys are fucking Nazis. Yes.
Doesn't it look like this guy is like on like about to catch piss in his mouth?
Yeah.
You could definitely Photoshop
No,
that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
No,
that-
it's just someone's just throwing carrots, like popcorn,
Oh yeah,
and-
but
just
like
catching it. They're
like
just
those-
having fun.
like those like comically large carrots from like
or
I
hot
don't know,
dogs.
like-
You'd be catching hot dogs.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
glizzies.
yeah.
Someone's tossing
Yeah.
glizzies.
yeah,
Um,
fucking bratwurst. I think.
another notable thing about this picture is the magazine he's holding up. That bit of Cyrillic there translates to Lemonka, which is it's a rag that was published by a guy named Limonov, getting his first
Dude,
name.
Yeah, Edward.
Edward, yeah,
Um,
Edward Limonov.
Who is I love my edgy literary people. I do, but that guy, his writing is so fucking boring.
Yeah,
It's really lame. Like,
I didn't get a chance to go into it too deep. It
No,
didn't
like-
seem that revolution.
yeah, just imagine imagine a Russian guy that kind of wants to be Mishima and like talk about bad boys having gay sex, but he's not interesting like Mishima is.
Yeah. Sure.
and then he wants to start a weird a weird party. But additionally is that most of Limanov's work is not just like transparently about him, but explicitly about him. It's really weird where it's like, me, Edward. It's really fucking bizarre.
So Limonka is I think is Russian for lemon almost exactly. But it's also an allusion to what they called the grenades that they were using at the time in the Russian military.
Oh, that's cute.
And also a play on Limonov's own name. Limonov is actually a pen name. I forget what his original name. So he's doing multiple plays on like his own shit, and he's just masturbating into his magazine.
That's really hot.
Wait, is it this guy?
No, it's not that guy.
No.
Oh, okay.
Limonov actually looks like a guy that should be doing weird Russian politics. He's just not good at writing.
We won't talk about him too much today though, because he died, and I think he's not as important. Two of them.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like I know Limonov started like one of the NazBol parties, and it was like kind of knocked all over the place. But in the end, I don't know that he made any notable policy decisions.
No.
Like, yeah. Then again, like I don't really know his political posterity. There's a better word for this. His political. I don't know what resulted from him really. I just know that he was
it's hard to say, really. Kind of.
I mean, even with Dugin, we don't like it's kind of accepted that he's responsible for or like the brain daddy of like the invasion of Crimea and stuff, but we don't really know that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're NazBols are sneaky boys.
That's going to keep presenting itself as we go through this episode. Is that NazBols traditionally very cowardly about explicitly stating exactly what they want. They just use a bunch of aesthetic imagery to try to get two people or two groups of people that should actually be opposed to each other to kind of like work together.
And yeah, I wouldn't even knock that. Like, I wouldn't even necessarily call it cowardly. Even though, of course, like, disagreeing with their projects, it's tempting to do that. But I don't know. I think there might be something to learn there.
Maybe. Go ahead, John.
Well, I was just saying that they're like unreformed Jews.
They're they would not like to hear that. Let me tell you.
They're waiting for their Messiah. They're waiting for their.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where I do feel like there's maybe a lesson to be learned in the sense that we, in the States and kind of all over, are a little obsessed with political posturing and like yelling your politics as loud as you can and doing absolutely nothing about it.
For sure.
And so maybe the whole kind of like rodent like sneaking and convincing people to agree with one another for nefarious ends thing, maybe you don't want a nefarious ends, but I think there's something to be learned from this this type of action.
You can at least maybe like appeal to people's politics in a certain way that makes them go, oh, okay, yeah, actually that does make sense as like a policy or something like that.
Good tactics used by bad people are still good tactics.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway. Let's
go ahead and go to the next link that I had up there. Just in case anybody, like needed to be beat over the head. Go up. There should be a go up. There should be a section called right there. That's all we need. So
demonetized.
Yeah.
We don't monetize these. We don't
monetize them anyway. Even if the option was on the table, which I assure you it's not. But these are the emblems of the German Reich, the emblems of the NSDAP, nationalists. You'll notice that the eagles in these two emblems are looking opposite directions. And so what the NazBols have done is they've merged these two eagles together, which also has another significance we'll talk about later. But the eagle is now looking both left and right in the NazBol emblem, but it still has like the same effect of fascism. Go ahead and go to the next link. We're gonna talk about our first real guy in the history of the National Bolshevik. Go ahead and zoom in a little bit.
Is this a picture of his wax statue?
No, that's a picture of him. He was German.
Terrifying.
Yeah, you can only do so much with that.
That explains it. You can only do so much with Germans.
So this is a gentleman named Ernst Niekisch, and this article is a little bit friendly to him because he was anti-Adolf Hitler, but I'll explain why in a. But this little blurb about him says
was Hitler too Jewish for him?
No, like his reasoning for disliking Hitler, per my understanding, isn't entirely senseless.
It's not. It's not.
In fact, it's good, but.
Yeah.
But
his reasons.
Someone's going to remember one reason that he disagreed with Hitler that was in fact abominable, and then fucking try to drag us. But
I don't care.
But yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So Ernst Niekisch, a former socialist and member of the Munich Soviet government in 1919. So here it says Munich Soviet government. People may remember in history as the Bavarian Soviet Republic. He was actually pretty formative in that very briefly lived moment where. So this is during the German Revolution. Of like the 1910s and kind of going into the 1920s, but it kind of like fizzled out by this. And during this moment, he decides, like, hey, I really miss like, or he's got this idea in his head that he can kind of revive Prussia in a way. And so this is why he has a weird Russian link, despite the fact that he's German. So I wrote down some notes here. He was a National Bolshevik because he wanted to bring back the old Prussian. And so he identified with Russia and Germany at the same time. The reason he was critical of Hitler wasn't because of like the anti-Jewish stuff, the anti-Semitism, so to speak. He was actually pretty much on board with that because he was like a raving nationalist in his earlier life. And the reason that he disagreed with Hitler is because he thought Hitler was a fake socialist, which is fair.
To his credit.
His credit, he did correctly identify that Hitler was not actually a national socialist. He was a national capitalist. Well, yeah. I mean, he did a lot of capitalism stuff, a lot of just regular fascism stuff on top of it.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
join the Trincata workshop where we just went off on for months defining fascism and talking about it. Anyway.
Now we don't do that anymore. Bad time.
But I mean, he is kind of sorry. I feel like a bizarre example of like a NazBol, because I feel like so often, or more often than not, the way that most of these prominent National Bolsheviks get to that point isn't necessarily through being, hey, I'm a communist or whatnot. Now I'm just going to accept this kind of other ideology as part of it. And more often that they are nationalists who just want to do whatever the fuck they can, which I think is the true of the next guy that we're going to cover.
That's absolutely true.
Who then ends up saying, well, I can give up some capitalism and whatnot if it's for the good of this state, which again is actually kind of like part of the process of producing a fascist state anyway, because you need some kind of state control involved in handling the crises inherent to capital. So, I mean, at a certain point with these people, it's just where did you pump or pretend to pump the brakes on your way from liberalism to fascism? And like where did you land in what kind of incomprehensible, combination of beliefs? And yeah, and there are a lot of people in this kind of constellation of thinkers that I don't think are necessarily entirely wrong either, and I'm not going to get myself into trouble by like naming off a whole lot of them, because I'm sure they all have really troubling beliefs. But like I know that Nietzsche was to some degree like a I wouldn't call him an acolyte, but inspired by Junger, who who had some good ideas.
Also an Ernst.
Yes, also named Ernst.
What's funny about a lot of these guys?
Very earnest people.
Well, yeah. What's funny about a lot of these guys I was looking into is, so you have Ernst Junger and Ernst Nietzsche, right? And they kind of like feed off of each other. And then the next guy we're gonna look at, his grandpa was named Nikolai, and it was his grandpa. Grandpa was named Nikolai, and he was named Nikolai. They both like followed in the footsteps of each other. Then we have two of the other guys we're gonna talk about are both Alexanders. So like these names come in waves, it seems.
Yeah. By the way, we're canceled now. Just so you know, me saying anything positive about Junger is
I mean, yeah,
we're fucked.
I mean, you could say that about anybody, history or contemporary. I'm sure Tucker Carlson has had a good idea or two. That doesn't mean that I agree with his overall political project, and that doesn't mean that I want any part to do with that. But I can
also
at least
like
say
to
that
read
like
Ezra
every
Pound,
now, yeah, I can at least say that like every now and then Tucker Carlson does make a point that is very inconvenient for liberal ideology.
Yeah. I mean that's the problem with most all of this thought. And again, maybe one good reason to be talking about NazBols, even for the people that are never going to be exposed to that type of thinking necessarily, because I know that a lot of our listenership are just, as spurgy as we are, and or worse.
Probably worse in some
way
Probably,
worse.
yeah, I was gonna say probably
but yeah,
worse.
And so know a lot about this kind of thing and get exposed to a lot of like weird niche ideologies because they need to get off the fucking internet. But I'm sure that probably like 30 to 40% of the people that listen to this don't know what a NazBol is, but are still going to be exposed to thoughts that are really tempting just because of the fact that they are in fact like anti-neoliberal or anti-capitalist, and that's how fascists get you.
And that's where the series on NazBols is eventually going, giving a more nuanced understanding of these kind of like grifter tactics. But
yeah,
and I would say like even though he's probably too dumb to realize what his ideology is, someone like Jimmy Dore, kind of technically a NazBol, because he pushes for a lot of right-wing stuff, but has this like economic like leftist sort of approach to
yeah, it's funny because I it would take a lot to get into this, but I don't think that like a red-brown alliance thing is genuinely actually even real.
No.
But like even the NazBols are just something entirely different, and there are like multiple types of people who fall into this type of thinking, and some of them are just really edgy leftists, and some of them are just straight up Nazis, and they're just different things, and if you put them in the same room together, they're going to hate one another, yada yada yada. But but the only real red brown alliance people are people who are just stuck doing political commentary because they get paid to be inconsistent and inflammatory.
For sure.
So yeah, Jimmy Dore is the only red brown guy. Well, I mean, maybe Glenn Greenwald's on his way.
I think Greenwald is on his way to that.
But yeah. And I will also say, because I've already gotten us in trouble with Younger, that Dugan's at least fun. Like when I listen to Dugan speak or like read any of it, I agree with like 50 to 60% of everything he says. But again, that's the issue, is that that's how they get you.
Yeah, right. And you know, as we saw in that first video we watched, 50% of it is good policy sometimes.
Well, yeah, I guess literally, like, there's that.
Right?
But yeah, just criticism of modern capital. I mean, it unironically, I didn't even consider that for a moment, because I was trying not to think in memes, but then in reality, that's literally just how the math works.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah, so I'll go into some of my notes. We won't read the a little bit too friendly to but so I already talked about his stuff with wanting Prussia to come back, essentially. So Nikish was also anti-Semitic, criticized Hitler because Hitler wasn't actually doing. Nazi Germany was actually incredibly capitalist. National Socialist Party at the time. He would end up meeting with people like Benito Mussolini and getting along with him very well, because he thought, and to Mussolini's credit, if we ever needed to give someone credit like that, Mussolini more of an actual Hitler was.
Yeah, I mean, Mussolini started off pretty far on the left, at least nominally, until he realized his project wasn't going to work. And then he was sides.
another economic left, culturally right.
Economically left until it doesn't work for you.
Yeah, and then yeah, once the economic part doesn't work out because countries.
And again, a reminder for everyone that that doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't.
Well, like, economically left and socially right at least makes a little bit more sense than the opposite. Like, it makes more sense than the libertarian kind of ideology.
For sure.
But they're both, in the way that they're oriented in like contemporary politics, pretty bizarre.
I'm culturally left and economic. That's actually just.
Yeah. I love Jews and homosexuals. I just want the market to decide if they can have houses.
Right. I want the market to decide whether or not they should be ground into meat paste.
Surprise, they are.
Oh no, whoops. So later on in his life, he would actually stop being such a weirdo nationalist. And the reason is because, you know, he did disagree, or so he not disagree. He agreed with the nationalism of, disagreed with how they were portraying the socialist. After a while, you know, the Nazi party kind of tolerates him because he's, you know, German first. Can't like imprison him for being a Jew or anything like that. And he like strongly enforces the nationalist side of the Nazi party until like they're starting to nitpick people for like their political beliefs, and then it turns out that, you know, like questioning the Fuhrer in such a way that questioning him, the Gestapo arrests him, and they imprison him. Well, they find him guilty for literary high treason, and they put him in prison under a life sentence. He ends up getting freed after the end of World War. And then after that experience, he's like, ah, shit, maybe nationalism isn't as cool as I thought because it put me, a German, in Germany in prison.
It didn't work out for him.
Yeah, that didn't work out for him. He ends up living until 1967. So he's born 1889, and then he dies in 1960.
And sorry if I'm adding obnoxious nuance to this, but
No, go ahead.
the Jews were Germans also.
Sure. Yeah. No. But like from his perspective.
Yeah. He was a good old goy.
True German, unlike Jewish people,
right?
For his perspective.
Exactly.
So our next guy, go ahead and hit up the next link. This dude just looks cool. He's got the right hat to look cool. This is Nikolai Vasilyevich Ustryalov. He's born a year after Ernst Nietzsche. So he lives from 1890 to 1937. This guy is if the name didn't give it away, Russian. And,
what?
Yeah. And so this guy is just a nationalist. He during the Russian Civil War, he fights on the side of the whites, which, if you understand what that means, good for you, but I'll explain it anyways for those who don't. The whites were essentially the Menshevik side of the war. They were the pro bourgeois side of. They were explicitly
they were the ones that weren't red.
Yeah. They were explicitly anti-communist, and Ustryalov is no different from the rest of these folks. He rejects communism, and he calls it a foreign ideology. And of course, since he's a nationalist, ideologies are bad. Near the end of the war, where it becomes kind of clear that the whites aren't going to win, he starts identifying as a NazBol after encountering Ernst Nietzsche's work. He originally kind of dismisses the idea of communism outright, and then he learns of the term National Bolshevik through Ernst Nietzsche, and he says to himself, this is something I can manipulate so that we can work with the new Soviet government and hopefully take this materialist communist state and turn it into a law state again.
Yeah.
So he's explicitly trying to undermine the project of the Soviet Union, and that's the only reason that he takes up national title. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so again, not to do a pitch, but in the workshop, we ended up reading through a series of different manifestos, primarily from like fascist Italy, both contemporary and otherwise. And the one of the things that all of them had in common is they all said things that fundamentally communists or at least socialists would agree with, but only if it was applied nationalistically, right? And so again, something that allows fucking weirdos like this guy, as well as people who are maybe more well-meaning, to fall into the trap of, where, but one of the first things that one of these people is always going to say to you is like, don't you think we should feed our people?
Right.
Like, it's just going to happen. So another thing to keep in mind.
HC in the chat told me that my audio was cutting off, so I adjusted something real quick, and hopefully we won't have that issue anymore.
You got real quiet, now you're real loud for me, so that's probably better.
Oh yeah, that'll probably work. Good. So he comes into contact with Nietzsche's work, and then decides, hey, this is something I can use to kind of like manipulate the Soviet government. We'll work alongside them, and we'll try to turn it back into a bourgeois state. He ends up running aground of both Trotsky and Stalin at the same time, which is impressive.
It's really funny.
Yeah, like so Trotsky calls him out as basically being Stalinist in his thought, and Stalin's like, no, this guy isn't Stalinist. He's like a piece of shit. And during Stalin's Great Purge, this guy gets erased from the planet. Before he gets executed in that way. The reason he gets executed is espionage and anti-Soviet agitation. So
agitating.
yeah, so for a long time he runs a little like, it's almost like a zine in some ways, called Smena Vek.
Schmegmavik.
Yes, Schmegma Vek. But basically, through that, he makes the argument that, like, hey, Mensheviks, former whites, in the white-red Civil War, we have to work with the Soviets for now so that we can, like, overturn this whole communism thing that I'm pretending to be. After go ahead.
Isn't Smegmavek the bad guy from Stranger Things?
yeah, I think so. So let's go ahead and go to our next guy, because for a while the NazBol movement kind of dies out, because Stalin killed all of them, and they're not really allowed to talk anymore. So this next guy isn't a NazBol, and I'm gonna make that clear before I start talking about him.
Though he does suck.
He does suck. Go ahead, John.
Dead people aren't allowed to talk?
Well, not anymore, I guess. It's because of cancel culture, that dead people can't say what they want to anymore.
Back in the days of Virgil, the dead were allowed to talk whenever you visited them, but now,
yeah.
Well, I mean, the Mormons let people talk all the time, don't they?
Yeah, but we don't talk about them.
Yeah, we definitely don't talk about the Mormons.
The most progressive of Christian offshoots.
We will one day do a deep dive into Mormonism, because I think they're the most Christian religion that's ever existed, and I mean that as a slur.
They're the most American religion, at least. But
yeah. Go ahead and zoom in a little bit so I can read this article. But this is a gentleman named Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and this is an acceptance speech that he gave. Shoot, what was it?
1983.
1983, yeah, but I'm trying to remember. He got an award for something. Yeah. I forget what he received the Templeton Prize for Progress in Religion. And so this is his like acceptance speech for receiving that award. And once again, we're gonna reach this thing where he says a lot of things that you could probably agree with, and then he takes this like really weird nationalist turn, and also he puts this new thing into it that had kind of previously been missing, I think, from the National Bolshevik like rhetoric, and it presents itself in the newer National Bolshevik rhetoric. So again, he's not a NazBol, but he's a pretty nationalist person.
I will say one thing that I do like about him, and it's the fact that he made it so that I now know which people I should just fucking shut off my brain around. Because the moment someone walks up to you and says, "Have you ever read the Gulag Archipelago?" You immediately know. It's just, I can't fucking do this.
Fuck.
I can't fucking do this.
I'm dealing with a Solzhenitsyn.
Solzhenitsyn.
Solzhenitsyn? I guess so. That makes sense.
No, I just said his name because it sounds like a thing. It sounds like someone that would follow him would have the. Because get it?
Yeah, I didn't catch that because all these names fall out of my head the second I'm not looking at them.
So I really think Jordan Peterson, who I'm guessing grew up upper middle class. I don't know if anybody knows.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he went to a pretty decent school, and
He apparently had some ups and downs, but I don't know what
Well,
is like
and I mean,
his primary.
like I've known upper middle class people that are like that. I get it that they have ups and downs. Fucking their family or themselves. Period. Oh shit, where was I going? Oh yeah, no, like Jordan Peterson. I swear that the fucking like the homeless junkies fucking under the bridge fucking it's just like talking to them. Like I feel like I've talked to Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just has a tweed jacket, probably doesn't smell like, 2 weeks of BO, at least, all the time.
But the thing is that the people under the bridge will never try to convince you to read the Gulag Archipelago,
Exactly.
which is kind of
Real quick, while we're on the subject of Jordan Peterson,
oh my god,
the YouTube channel Some More News put out a 3-hour video on Jordan Peterson that is actually really good.
I can't fucking watch that guy.
No, yeah, no, that's fair. But this particular video for people who can stand that guy, it was actually pretty good.
What about the people that want to hear about a man do unhinged rants about Jordan Peterson? Why don't they check out the Benzo Rehab Dungeon podcast live streaming every week at 7:30 p.m. PST? Check it out. The patreon.com/the Benzo Rehab Dungeon.
There's at least one listener or viewer, I'm not sure which he identifies as, that's gonna message me later and say Danko said PST when he actually meant PDT, which is Pacific Daylight Time. And he does this almost every time I post the time for the podcast, but God bless him. Speaking of being what? I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you whatting?
Yeah, you don't know the name of your time zone.
Well, I mean, first off, that's not my time zone.
Yeah,
Well,
it's my time zone.
The time zone that you were raised in.
Hold on, I just looked this up. PDT, North American time zone, and used for the second Sunday in March until the first Sunday in November. So whoever that is right literally half of the time, but also shut the fuck up.
Well, yeah, no, they've only done it at the appropriate time to their credit.
But also it looks like PDT just extends a little bit more.
Yeah. Look, I like him. He's a nice guy.
Who is this fucking person?
We'll talk about it after.
Show me his face.
Dox him now.
I will kill this person.
May Harrison says cancel calling it PDT. I agree. That's why I just keep saying PST anyways.
That's dumb as shit.
The one time I said PDT, I got like 5 messages saying, "What the fuck is PDT?"
Yeah.
And so I just went back to calling it PST.
All fucking day at work, getting people on different time zones to talk to one another and explaining to people on PST which time zone I am on compared to them. And never have I ever heard someone say PDT. I've seen one person do CDT, but even that is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Shut up. I think you should kill yourself. You should step into a meat grinder.
Yeah.
Am I friends with this person?
Probably. I don't know. Anyways,
I love you. Probably. I don't know.
So Solzhenitsyn, back to this guy.
Believes in PDT.
Yeah. And that's why we should kill him. He's already dead, though. He lives from 1918 to 2008, by the way. I wrote down the births and deaths of all these people because I feel like the timeline is important to note.
It's a little creepy, writing down the day that someone was born and writing down the day.
I mean, just wait until we get to the next guy.
It's invasive.
This is his speech, and we're not going to go through the whole thing because it's incredibly long, but we're going to get to a point, and then I'll stop it at that point. So he starts more than John, come on, man. You can't just scroll down past the words.
Keep
I
scrolling,
didn't.
dude. It'll speed us up.
I definitely did not.
You
As
started
the-
to.
the
And it scared
listener will hear.
me. It scared me, and you know, like when you try to ride a horse off a cliff, they stop. That's what happened to me. Is I was trying to read, and I thought that you were gonna cut off the first line, and so I had to stop myself instinctively because I'm like a horse.
It just sounds like you're making a lot of excuses
Sure, man.
It's
to.
it's
hide
really
the fact
interesting
that
how-
you're illiterate.
how different mammals have evolved to avoid moving down different kinds of gradient.
Yeah.
Where like a horse won't jump off a cliff, a cow won't go downstairs, and my dad will never come home.
Hey. So he starts off more than half a century ago. This is a real 7 years ago moment. More than half a century ago, while I was still a child, I recall hearing a number of older people offer the following explanation for the great disasters that had befallen Russia. Men have forgotten God. That's why all this has happened. Since then, I
The
spent
most Russian thing anyone could ever say.
yeah.
It sounds like the most like Central Texas thing I've ever heard.
You'll have
There's
a
probably
Latin
some.
kind
There's
of-
probably some overlap there. We're actually
Very
going to look
similar
at
facial hair.
we're actually going to look at a video from people that are in Texas regarding this subject. So good tie-in for later. He continues, since then I spent well nigh 50 years working on the history of our revolution. In the process, I have read hundreds of books, collected hundreds of personal testimonies, and have already contributed 8 volumes of my own toward the effort of clearing away the rubble left by that upheaval. But if I were asked today to formulate as concisely as possible the main cause of the ruinous revolution that swallowed up some 60 million of our people, I could not put it more accurately than to repeat, men have forgotten God. That's why all this has happened. What is more, the events of the Russian Revolution can only be understood now, at the end of the century, against the background of what has since occurred in the rest of the world. What emerges here is a process of universal significance, and if I were called upon to identify briefly the principal trait of the entire 20th century, here too I would be unable to find anything more precise and pithy than to repeat once again, men have forgotten God. Scroll down, John.
You didn't even get to the end.
Well, yeah, but like you're supposed to like keep it sort of in the center, man.
Well, maybe
Again, ladies and gentlemen, John did not find
the
another
fuck is
podcast.
PDT? What is
I
PDT?
cannot work under these conditions.
We are not going into the
Yeah.
PDT thing again.
I cannot believe this.
Yeah.
This is insane.
You
Does this person live in Baja, Mexico? Is that why you're like this?
I mean, there's always
Piece
going to
of
be
shit.
some kind of time nerd, right?
I mean,
so,
you could be there are two
you know-
types of time nerds. All right.
accelerationists and and lemurs.
the ones who can count the difference between PDT and PST, and the ones that are going too fast to care.
Exactly. And I'm going too fast, baby. All right. Back to Solzhenitsyn. The failings of human consciousness, deprived of its divine dimension, have been a determining factor in all the major crimes of the century. The first of these was World War I, and much of our present predicament can be traced back to it. That war, the memory of which seems to be fading, took place when Europe, bursting with health and abundance, fell into a rage of self-mutilation that could not but sap its strength for a century or more, and perhaps forever. The only possible explanation for this war is a mental eclipse among the leaders of Europe due to their lost awareness of a supreme power above them. Only a godless embitterment could have moved ostensibly Christian states to employ poison gas, a weapon so obviously beyond the limits of humanity. Again, he does say some things that are very salient and true in this. He continues, the same kind of defect, the flaw of a consciousness lacking all divine dimension, was manifested after World War II, when the West yielded to the same satanic temptation of the nuclear umbrella. It was equivalent to saying, let's cast off our worries, let's free the younger generation from its duties and obligations, let's make no effort to defend ourselves, to say nothing of defending others, let's stop our ears to the groans emanating from the east, and let us live instead in the pursuit of happiness. If danger should threaten us, we shall be protected by the nuclear bomb. If not, then let the world be burned in hell for all we care. And once again, he's saying some things that are not that wrong. The pitifully helpless state to which the contemporary West has sunk in a large measure due to this fatal error, the belief that the defense of peace depends not on stout hearts and steadfast men, but solely on the nuclear bomb. Only the loss of that higher intuition which comes from God could have allowed the West to accept calmly, after World War I, the protracted agony of Russia as she was being torn apart by a band of cannibals, or to accept, after World War II, the similar dismemberment of Eastern Europe. The West did not perceive that this was in fact the beginning of a lengthy process that spells disaster for the whole world. Indeed, the West has done a good deal to help the process along. Only once in this century did the West gather its strength for the battle against Hitler, but the fruits of that victory have long since been lost. Faced with cannibalism, our godless age has discovered the perfect anesthetic, trade, such as the pathetic pinnacle of contemporary wisdom. Today's world has reached a stage that, if it had been described to preceding centuries, would have been called forth the cry, "This is the apocalypse." Yet we have grown used to this kind of world. We even feel at home in it. Dostoevsky warned that great events could come upon us and catch us intellectually unprepared. That is precisely what has happened. And he predicted that the world will be saved only after a visitation by the demon of evil. Whether it really will be saved, we shall have to wait and see. This will depend on our conscious, on our spiritual lucidity, on our individual and combined efforts in the face of catastrophic circumstances. But it has already come to pass that the demon of evil, like a whirlwind, triumphantly circles all 5 continents of the earth.
Conscience.
Yes. One more paragraph, I think, before we get to the part where I'm going to stop. We are witnesses to the devastation of the world, be it imposed or voluntarily undergone. The entire 20th century is being sucked into the vortex of atheism and self-destruction. This plunge into the abyss has aspects that are unquestionably global, dependent neither on political systems nor on levels of economic and cultural development, nor yet on national peculiarities. In present-day Europe, seemingly so unlike the Russia of 1913, is today on the verge of the same collapse, for all that it has been reached by a different route. For all that it has been reached by a different route. Sorry, tricky sentence. Different parts of the world have followed different paths, but today they are all approaching the threshold of a common ruin. And this is where he really starts to. He's already kind of beaten us over the head with the faith and the higher power stuff. But here's where he imagines a past of Russia that doesn't actually exist. And it's where a lot of fascism and nationalism kind of does most of its dealing in, is this imagined past that we have to return to, this thing that used to be good about us, but we no longer have. And so he says, in its past, Russia did know a time when the social ideal was not of fame or riches or material success, but a pious way of life. Russia was then steeped in an Orthodox Christianity that remained true to the church of the first centuries. So this is kind of the nationalist basis that I think a lot of the current National Bolshevik Party leans on, because the next guy we'll look at, Dugin, has a lot of laments about losing the Orthodox Christian faith, returns to how Russia traditionally was, even though if people would like to go back to our episodes that we did with Teddy K, and look into the actual Russian history, there's not a whole lot of actual traditions in Russia for a long time, over centuries. changed a lot of hands, changed a lot of ethnicities, changed a lot of beliefs and cultures and societal norms and this sort of stuff.
Hey,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I blanked out for a moment there. Were you saying something?
No, I was just preaching the Russian Orthodoxy.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So
Fuck yeah.
Solzhenitsyn plays a pretty huge role in this nationalist tendency that is also looking backwards towards like the motherland and what we used to be, and we used to have this faith and we need to return to that faith. It's the only way forward, and reject all these materialist notions, reject the
Return to
disbelief.
tradition.
Yeah, return to tradition and all that sort of shit.
I'm gonna invite I'm gonna invite all my bros over. I'm gonna invite all my bros over, and you know what I'm gonna call that? All my bros lined up for me.
I don't know.
I'm gonna call that the Glug Glug Archipelago.
It's
Because
good,
I'm
man.
gonna suck all their dicks.
You spent that whole time I was reading this thinking of that, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep.
Reading what?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
All right, cool.
Before we go to our next link, do you have anything that you would like to preface Alexander Dugin with?
No, I mean, let's fucking dive in.
All right. So in my search for sources I could read from to get like a feel for these people, also source images I could use for like making the graphic that I put up on each episode. I found this wonderful article. John, go ahead and click on the next link. And this is
Oh yeah.
a website called Kiddle, which I don't like already. And,
Well, no, it's a portmanteau. You know, they're just mixing the word
sure, man.
kid and diddle.
Yeah, right. So I don't like that. I don't trust that robot up at the top left.
No, that robot he was hit on the head.
They call him the
when-
Kiddler.
Yeah, he was. That robot was hit on the head when he was 16 and then became the Kiddler.
Oh.
Look, he doesn't mean to do it. He's just simple now.
Yeah.
Ever since that horse kicked him.
He can't help but kiddle.
Oh man. Why did you bring that to the worst spot?
Man, from now on, when I have that awkward talk with anyone I'm dating about why my dick works in such funny ways, I'm gonna tell them I got kiddled.
Right.
Yeah.
Right before you
Sorry,
smoke your
I'm
meth to cure your erectile dysfunction. Hey, I had to do this because I was kiddled by the Kiddler.
Sorry, I have schizophrenia due to kiddling. Penile schizophrenia, not the crazy kind.
Yeah. Go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. But we have Alexander Dugin Dugin facts for kids.
Hell yeah.
Which children should not be reading Alexander Dugin probably.
Sounds like
they
a
get to
good way
learn
to get kiddled.
about the ocean. They get to learn about the land. They get to know which one of these motherfuckers are gonna move where. You know.
True.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
I guess
cool.
so.
Cute.
So Alexander Gilevich Dugin, born January 7th, 1962, is a Russian political analyst and strategist known for his fascist views. He reportedly has close ties with the Kremlin and the Russian military, although this has been disputed, instead being described as a fringe figure with limited influence. He served as an advisor to State Duma Speaker Gennady Seleznyov and a leading member of the ruling United Russia Party, Sergei Naryshkin. Dugin was the main organizer of the National Bolshevik Party, National Bolshevik Front, and Eurasia Party. He is the author of more than 30 books, among them Foundations of Geopolitics, 1997, and The Fourth Political Theory, 2009.
And I love that the Alexander Dugin Facts for Kids paragraph that you just read is just literally stripped directly from Wikipedia,
Yes.
and is not simplified for children at all.
No. Nope.
Sorry, John, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you've written 30 books, are you really a good writer?
I mean, Tom Clancy wrote about 30 books, and are you going to talk shit on him?
Faulkner wrote a shit ton of books. You know? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Um,
Not a really good writer's read a bunch of books.
you can
I mean,
write. You can write 30 good books. You know, who knows?
I mean,
Faulkner wrote As I Lay Dying in a week, apparently, but also he was a pathological liar who
Yeah.
lied about like his
Huh.
military service and height. So, you know, maybe not. Stolen valor done in the coolest way.
So, like I said, I wrote down all the birth dates and death dates for these gentlemen.
January 7th, 1962.
Yeah.
And when does he die? When does he die?
I just put down still alive, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing that clever.
Dugan, I feel like even though
No.
we're really watching him do some diabolical things, and he does say some problematic stuff, out of all the people that we've talked about today, he's the least awful. I don't know. Like, I think he's interesting. But maybe that's the trap I'm falling into.
I think
is
that's
that
the trap you're
he's
falling
just
into.
Really interesting.
Well, I mean, he is fascinating, and there's nothing wrong with being fascinating, but that doesn't mean you're not a bad person. Like, I mean, how many
I'm fascinated
history
by Albert
documents?
Fish. That guy rules.
Right. I was gonna say, how many history documentaries have been made about Hitler? He's a very fascinating person. That doesn't mean
He
we
is
like him.
fascinating. Say what you will about Hitler.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Hitler. Fascinating guy.
You're right. Exactly. So again, in the interest of keeping tonight's episode short, this is kind of where we're gonna stop our historical exploration of the
Take
National
my
Bolshevik.
medicine.
No, we're
Hey,
not
man.
done.
Too.
bathroom break.
Do you need a bathroom break?
Oh,
Yeah, I
Oh.
gotta piddle.
we
Jesus Christ! All right.
barely go over a fucking
I mean-
hour.
It's all right. John's.
Well,
I mean,
Whatever.
If
This is-
drinking a 6-pack of booze before work wasn't
John-
mandatory, maybe I wouldn't have
John.
to pee.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and also he renegotiated his contract so that I would give him bathroom breaks as
Yeah.
he requested them.
I mean, it's just that John's dick is so big, it makes it so that he doesn't have much room for a bladder.
Yeah,
It
That's
actually
how
reaches
it
up into his body, though.
Yeah.
It's
So-
all dick, very little
Yeah.
balls, almost no bladder.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we will take a quick $5 then,
Whatever. Fuck
and
you
we'll
people.
see everybody back here in a
I
moment.
don't give a shit about any of you. I don't like you. I don't trust you. None of
Yeah,
you.
I'm
that's fair.
muting you. Well, I mean, if you want to talk over the intermission screen, that's fine, I
I
guess.
will.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Well. So just a question for the listener here. Does Mike remove these intermission portions, or does he make you fucking sit through this when you listen to this on Spotify? That fucking asshole. Is that what he does? Is that what he does to you? Because we can have a revolution. We can get back at him. We can take him down. Even if we can't take him down, we can take him down a notch. You know, and that's what matters. That's what really matters in the end, is that we can make him afraid. We can make it so that for the rest of his life, every time that Michael Deebs looks in the mirror, he sees us standing behind him. Every time that he tries to fall asleep at night, he thinks about us. Think about that. I'm so tired. Fuck this. I'm never gonna have another intermission again. I'm not gonna do it. I refuse to do another intermission. Oh, hey, I was just talking about how we should kill Mike. You can't hear me, can you?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
I thought you were doing just putting on your headphones. Hell yeah. So how should we do it?
Well, I mean, don't we need to talk about why first, though?
Yeah. I already said why. Which is
my reason is that I have it on good authority that he jerks off to pictures of his own feet.
Well, we all do that a little bit, but my reasoning is that actually I'm going to ask him right now.
I already know what you're going to ask me, and the answer is I forget to edit it out. Yeah, I'm an asshole.
You fucking asshole. You fucking asshole.
So
the question, John wasn't around for this, so I am actually just going to ask it. But the question I was going to ask is whether or not the intermissions are left in for the listener to have to suffer through on Spotify. By the way, again, just reminding everyone, I don't give a shit about the fucking watcher. I think they're assholes, and I hope they all stub their toe on the edge of a coffee table and then fall down the fucking stairs and don't die right away.
So you want it to be long and painful.
Yeah. Whereas the listener, every listener is a queen, a king, a sovereign.
Bimbo.
A sovereign. A beautiful.
Well,
I guess. Sovereign.
You did use a non-gender specific term there. Yeah.
And I love you, and I think that you're the ones that actually matter, even though Mike neglects you in such a cruel way.
I don't neglect it. We give them an extra 5 minutes at the beginning.
We're gonna kill him.
We give them an extra 5 minutes at the beginning. Maybe we lose a couple of minutes like in between when we're all taking little pee breaks and stuff. Whatever.
I didn't pee, so I'm gonna have to pee in a few minutes here. But...
I feel like we used to give them like a solid 12. Up to 15 minutes,
that's true. We used to give them more, but then we stopped caring.
So here's my promise to the listener.
The Benzo Rehab Dungeon promise.
Yeah, which always gets fulfilled. Before we record our next episode, I will tie it into the intermission button that I have to also play some elevator music, and at least they'll have something to listen to.
That's really cool.
Because if the sound goes away and they're stuck with nothing but their own thoughts, and they can't handle that for 2-3 minutes, whatever it is.
I mean, to be fair though, I am usually there during the intermission.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the only.
Because you just pee your pants.
Yeah. I poop sock and pant pee.
poop sock and pant pee. All right, cool. So let's move on. We've got a video that we're gonna watch, and this is from the Center for Political Innovation.
Oh shit!
Gross.
Center for Political Innovation. Oh my god.
So the Center for Political Innovation is a project run by a bunch of American NazBols. Which, if you're going, wait, American NazBols outside the context of Russia, that doesn't really make sense. Yeah, exactly. Problem A with this. Problem B is they tell a bunch of like first off, there's like this oath taking ceremony, and some of the oath that they're taking is neat, I guess. It talks a lot about internationalism, and that's cool. And like, if they actually believed in internationalism, that would be even neater. But they don't.
Nationalists usually don't believe in that.
Yeah. So problem B is they're lying through their teeth this whole time. Problem C is the brutalist depiction of Lincoln in the background. There doesn't make me feel any better about what they're doing.
Dude, it's anime Lincoln is what it is.
Right.
It sucks.
We can watch a little bit of their oath, and then there's a. I should have had the timestamp written down here, but I didn't. Maybe we'll just watch the whole oath, and then we'll watch their They're incredibly cringe, like LARPer military ceremony opening thing where you can tell it's two people that have like maybe done 3 minutes of drill practice in their life. And then they're gonna unveil a flag, which I need to look into the symbolism of together with you guys. And then we'll come back to like this video, I guess. I don't know. And then we have
you're in ROTC.
yeah. And then we have two images that we're gonna wrap this up with, just in case anybody thought either of these guys was like cool. They're not. But anyways, John, go ahead and play this.
Cool.
Unity. Forged at the end of the Second World War. Not only today, not only this week, this year, but always.
What a clumsy oath.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
Yeah.
And it goes on forever.
PDT?
Oh, this isn't the sounded like the end.
No. It's literally like the first minute and 30 seconds of this video. It's this fucking oath that they take.
But always.
Until we have built the world we have dreamed of and fought for.
Until we have built the world we
See, that
dreamed
guy
of
thought it was
and fought
over.
for.
Yeah.
He put his
pledge
hand down.
ourselves to build the unity of the people of the world.
We pledge ourselves to build the unity of the people of the world.
All races, all colors, all nationalities, all beliefs.
All races, all colors, all nationalities, all beliefs.
To eliminate all traces of fascism from the earth.
To eliminate all traces of fascism from the earth.
To build a
Could
deep
you
and
pause it for a
sincere
second?
international friendship.
To build a
I'm going to try not to interrupt a whole lot, but
Sure.
And I promise this is including people at DSA meetings, but it's remarkable the bizarre absence of attractive people at this rally.
Well, the bizarre absence of attractive people, also the bizarre absence of anybody I would like to find myself in a trench alongside.
Yeah, they all look very sickly and white, which means
Yeah.
unattractive. As a sickly white man.
Yeah, no, I don't want to fight alongside these
Don't
people.
say yeah, fuck you. This is what
Sorry,
you're supposed
man.
to call me sexy and tan. Like a beautiful
Well,
black man.
this
This is where you're supposed to tell me I'm a beautiful black man.
You're really like I was almost gonna give you like, yeah, you're pretty good looking, I guess, and then like you did all the rest of that, and I can't do any of it now.
He's a 6, but he's racist in a weird opposite way.
Yeah, okay. Go on, John. Please play more of this.
deep and sincere international friendship
Among the peoples of the world.
among the peoples of the world.
To keep a just, lasting peace.
To keep a just, lasting peace.
To eliminate want, frustration, and enforced idleness.
To eliminate want, frustration, and enforced idleness.
These
We have promised
motherfuckers
to
can't hold their
confirm the
hands
unity
up.
of all people.
We have
Or look
promised to
straight,
confirm
like
the
it's
unity
crazy.
of all people.
To salute our
Well,
comrades
you hold your hand up
salute
for
our
fucking
comrades who
5
died.
minutes or
and
however
pledge our
long
word
this
that
has been
skillful
going
hands,
on.
keen brains, and bold enthusiasm
That's how the
And pledge
Nazis
our
are going to
word
win.
that
They're
skillful
really holding
hands,
their
keen
arm up.
brains, and bold enthusiasm
shall never more be wasted in war.
shall never
Yeah.
more be wasted in war.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Please
although
remain standing for the Internationale, followed by the U.S. national anthem.
All right. Go ahead and turn it down a little bit for this part because that audio is going to get insanely loud. But
I mean, it's tradition to like damage people's ears when that song comes on. So
yeah, we're not going to do it though because I don't believe in tradition. But was somebody going to say something, or are we just going to keep rolling?
no, I mean it's all very funny.
Oh yeah, no,
but
it's
also,
hilarious.
You know, keep in mind that in I would say 50-ish% of all of the like fascist god damn it, what's the word that just fell out of my head? Damn, my brain's broken, guys. Tracts, manifestos, in like
There we
50%
go.
of the fascist manifestos that I've read, they do start it off by saying we shouldn't have so much military and bad war stuff is
Yeah, of
bad.
course.
It's bad to have all that stuff. We should give it to the people. That's what they start off with, and then it
Yeah.
doesn't end that way.
And then you ask
It's
them,
nationalist.
oh well, how do you plan on maintaining a strong nationalism? Which
with the military and expanding our living space.
A strong nationalism, which nationalism necessitates excluding others, and the only way that you can exclude others in a physical way is by being militant towards them. Yeah, no, it's all lies, and it's all like, oh, that sounds like a neat idea, and I can agree with what they're saying. And then there's the practice of it, which you should be alarmed by. So they're gonna play the Internationale, and then they're also gonna play the United States national anthem, which, I mean,
it's really fucking funny.
And then
such a
we're
cool
gonna see some flags come out, and it's even funnier when you see the flags come out. So go ahead and roll it, John. People that don't know how to march trying to march.
And just like random ass people.
So for the listener, we have out now a Soviet flag and an American flag on either side of the podium, in front of the brutalist depiction of Abraham Lincoln, and two people trying to stand stoically. They've now joined hands. And then we have another flag that's going to come out. And John, when that flag comes into full view, there, go ahead and pause it. So you might be wondering, what the fuck is that flag?
It's a beautiful color scheme.
Z
looks really good.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
the Z.
So we have a flag depicted here for the listener. It has some Cyrillic writing on it. I didn't translate the writing. But I think the next link does translate the writing for us.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So it's got a black bar, a blue bar, and a red bar from top to bottom.
Not red. That's orange, bitch.
No, it's red. Look at the communist flag. This is shitty video.
It's an orange communist flag.
Sure.
Look at the American flag. That's red.
That flag's just oranger.
These people are doing something weird that I don't understand.
Maybe
I'm stupid now.
Yeah, no. Look at the busty lady holding the American flag.
I think they got
what color shirt is she wearing?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I think they got shitty quality flags. First off,
I'm an orange fox wearing a red jumper.
Yeah.
That's a different video feed. You can't.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is shitty camera quality. Everybody's washed out.
Well,
secondly, these are
for a weird reason.
The stripes on the American flag are red.
Okay.
This guy's shirt
for
is
some reason
red.
it's orange.
Yeah.
It just means they're Protestant Americans. They hate the Catholics. That's all.
The color is supposed to be red. I don't want to argue with you guys
shit,
anymore.
I did a racism.
They're the ones with the political party.
I'm red, huh? Let's investigate that for a second. John, go ahead and go to the next link real quick, and then we'll maybe return to that video. So this is what the flag is supposed to look like.
Oh my god, that's red.
It is red. Yeah, I didn't lie about it.
How
It's supposed
did you know that?
to. Yeah, because I do the links.
Gonna happen.
So this flag here is go ahead and go up to the top there. It's the symbolism of the next. Sorry, that's not the flag. This is the article's title. Symbolism of the Donetsk People's Republic, which some of you may recognize as not being a real republic in the first place. Also, the imagery on this flag is of particular note. what you have here is a couple of symbols that are important. You have the guy that we talked about earlier in the center, this angelic figure with a sword. In some depictions, he's riding a horse, and others, he's just a guy with a sword. You have a two-headed eagle pointing, east and west.
Is that supposed to be like a Charlemagne Holy Roman Empire thing, or
Yeah, it
what's the
sure
deal with
fucking
it?
is, buddy.
Okay, yeah, hell yeah.
So you've got this eagle, you've got banners all around. It's got this what do you call it? The holy globe thing in the center.
The holy.
It's the holy hand grenade from Worms Armageddon.
Yeah, it's the holy hand
Or World
grenade.
Party.
So you have all this imagery, right? Go ahead and go to the next link right here. So
Oh Jesus!
you're gonna see a lot of similarities between the seal of the imperialist Russia state and the flag that we just looked at, and what this relates to is Moscow being the third Rome, which is a concept that we talked about in our talks with Teddy K. As this Wikipedia article reads, it's a very succinct explanation of it. Moscow, Third Rome, is a theological and political concept asserting that Moscow is the successor of the Roman Empire, representing a third Rome in succession to the first Rome, Rome itself, capital of ancient Rome, and the second Rome, Constantinople, capital of the Eastern Roman Byzantine Empire.
Wait, are they taking the Third Reich from Hitler?
They sure are, buddy. Almost
Fucking
pretty
bastards.
much exactly what they're trying to do there. So this Donetsk People's Republic flag is basically affirming through its symbolism the theory of Moscow being the third Rome, which is really weird for people who are trying to talk about like being anti-imperialist. For them to use explicitly imperialist symbolism.
Yeah.
I don't actually think we need to watch the rest of that video. But
Well, after seeing this fucking this eagle's like in the worst shape. It looks like it's had a few too many like pins stabbed into it.
yeah, I mean, eagles do looking shitty, right?
That's a hungover eagle covered in swag from Office Space.
But you'll notice this eagle is also holding the holy hand grenade in one of its talons. It's got a scepter in the other. It's got some crowns in the center, which
wow.
Yeah,
Well, and
but
also, it
the
has
composition.
So it has the appropriate amount of eagle fingers or talons, toes.
Toes,
I think
yeah.
eagles only have 3 toes, which this one's right. This one has 1.
Yeah, it's got a
2,
thumb.
3. Yeah, it has 4 on the other.
And
So it has
and
3
eagles do have like a back little like finger thing, but it's not shaped like a human fist. So
Like a
Yeah,
kitty,
no, and it's
like a
it's like
kitty.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's their third, or do they? Maybe they do have 4 toes. I don't know.
they do have
They
4
only have-
He's
toes.
got them beans.
Do they have 4 or 3?
He's got
They
them
have
little
4.
beans.
They have 4.
I
Neither
love-
here
I
nor
love it
there.
how kitties have little kitty beans.
So I guess this one's
some
the
of them
one
have a
that's
lot
right,
of them. You know, that polydactyl kitty thing. You know, it's those cats with like 37 little beans on each toe. You know, that's
Jesus
pretty
Christ.
cute. I like that. I bet they could hold all sorts of spears and scepters and shit with enough of them little kitty beans. Sorry, what are we talking about?
We're,
Nothing anymore.
I fucking
Yeah.
hate medleys. Medleys are the worst thing that's ever happened in music.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about that food that I still don't know what it is that old white people make.
Yeah, it's like
Medley?
lima beans and corn and whatever else.
Yeah, it's a
medleys.
A medley is
Yeah.
just a combination of all the things that aren't good on their own and
Yeah.
are worse together.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because our next episode on this subject is going to go into the other NazBol adjacent sort of political movements across the world, including in America, and the Center for Political Innovation, the video that we just watched with all these weirdo dorks taking a weird oath, and then the communist flag and American flag, and then the next People's Republic flag that has a bunch of weird Imperial Russian like symbolism on it. Also relating to like the orthodoxy of Russia as well. And Moscow being the third Rome. All very cool stuff. The reason I'm bringing this up is because this organization is partly run by a gentleman named Caleb Maupin.
I was about to. This is unrelated, but I was actually just about to ask: does Caleb Maupin's dick wear an ill-fitting suit?
It does, because Caleb Maupin wears an ill-fitting suit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
by extension.
Oh shit! I gotta check my dick.
But if you wear an ill-fitting suit in real life, doesn't your dick wear a well-fitting tracksuit?
I don't. What?
I think that's how it works, right?
I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you said anything that makes sense at all right now.
Everyone, check what your dick's wearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ladies,
Yeah.
also check what your
Ladies.
dicks are wearing.
Yeah. Go to your drawers and check what
Mhm.
your dicks are wearing right now. What are your dicks wearing today?
So go ahead and
Brian's
go.
wearing a Gideon Bible.
What the It's not orthodox enough.
'Cause I'm
Go ahead
having
and go
sex in
to
a hotel room.
the next link.
Ugh.
So and click on that picture right there.
Is he like trying to be like the modern day Rasputin?
Yeah,
Dugan
I mean, people have said
probably,
that.
yeah,
That's
kinda.
literally a thing
Yeah.
that people say. Yeah.
So this is a picture of Alexander Dugin and Caleb Maupin sitting at the same table giving talks. We may end up going into the actual video behind this little screenshot, because Caleb Maupin says like absolutely insane shit. Like when he talks about anti-imperialism, people accuse him of being right wing. And that's not why anybody has accused Caleb Maupin of being right wing. Anti-imperialism is explicitly a left wing sort of political notion.
When I make dinner for my wife, she accuses me of cheating on her.
Right. The reason people accuse Caleb Maupin of being right wing is he's pretty explicitly anti-trans. Believes in a very strong nationalist communist movement. He's a NazBol, essentially. And he's hanging out with the leader of the NazBol party. Also, you'll notice the flag behind Dugin in this picture. So Caleb Maupin is to the right of Dugin here. And the flag directly behind Dugin is for the Eurasia movement, the International Eurasia movement, which was started by Dugin. And that symbol that's above him is the Star of Chaos, which is literally ripped off from weird RPG games of like the early to like late 60s and 70s. He's a fucking nerd, Dugin is. He's taking symbolism from tabletop gaming shit, fantasy novel shit, and incorporating it into his political movement. So that's two things I wanted to point out here, and then go ahead.
To be fair, I mean, the Eternal Champion came out when Dugin was like 2 years old, so you know it's pretty ancient and cool.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, formative for him. But it would be like if I started a political movement and I was like, yeah, we're the Harry Potter Guild of I don't know, fascism.
Don't give them ideas, you fucking idiot. Don't do it.
a two-headed badger with a purple X over its crotch instead of a blue one.
Yeah.
So bad.
So and just in case anybody was like, I mean, none of us here have really pumped up Dugin as being a cool guy or anything. The most we said, he's at least fascinating. But if we want to see some real dark shit, and I did verify that this is a real image, go ahead and go to the next link. That is a guy named David Duke, who some people may recognize as the former head of the KKK, hanging out with a much younger Alexander Dugin. And
I like how somehow they both look worse in this picture than they've ever looked.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, David Duke is probably wearing the most ill-fitting like overcoat on a suit that I've ever seen. And Dugan's like wearing some blueberry shit, like a blue shirt with a blue overcoat. Come on, dude.
I
Like,
mean, Dugan just looks like
Yeah.
a fucking neat, whereas Duke is, yeah, that's a whole fucking thing. That's,
Does
So-
Dugan have a glass eye?
no, he
Yeah.
just looks dumb.
just in this
I don't
picture.
know.
Yeah,
Just in this
yeah,
picture.
no. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if both of them had two glass eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
their eyes are glassy at the very least.
yeah.
So, you know, not to say that proximity to certain people necessarily makes you guilty of anything. But when you stand for a picture next to David Duke, I think that maybe says a little bit of something about your character. Much like people who stand next to Epstein for pictures, after knowing he's a convicted pedophile. Also weird to stand next to David Duke after he ran the KKK for several years, and is one of the most evil, vile people to ever exist in this country. Running one of the most evil, vile organizations to ever exist in this country. Yeah, so you know, I wanted to end on a happy note, which is credibly tying Dugan to the KKK in America. How do we feel about that?
Huh?
I said, how do we feel about that?
I mean, I think this is how ED is spread.
Mm.
And,
There you
and,
go.
and the only cure is smoking meth.
You're looking
That's
at
all-
patience,
That's all I
patience,
got out of this whole
patience
episode.
0 and 1 of monkeypox.
I,
They
hell
fucked.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Hell yeah. It's a gay
Yeah.
stereotype, Michael.
Sorry,
fact-
yeah. You're right. I'm sorry I called gays fascist. Any parting thoughts are welcome before we give our pitches and get the fuck out of here, I guess.
Your head is really, really shiny this episode.
It is really shiny today.
Yeah.
What did you do? Did you put it in
it's-
one of those
it's-
ball polishers?
No, it's probably like 102 degrees in here right now,
Uh-huh.
and I've been sweating quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's my secret.
What's it like downstairs currently?
Yeah. How shiny are your balls?
You know, I'll go ahead and divulge some information.
Yeah, do you keep them smooth?
Well, I'm not going to divulge that. What I will divulge is I've reverted to something that the last time I did it was in Afghanistan, and I've started using Gold Bond to keep everything dry because it's been so fucking hot here lately.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so-
on your scalp, you mean?
Oh,
Sure, man.
I just sweat all over everything and everybody.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
that's what I
you know,
do.
that's the difference between me and you.
I sweat, pee, and cum on everything I see at all times.
That's good.
To claim it.
Everything.
But I don't leave the house ever. I've never left my home. So, you know, that's a me problem.
Definitely a you problem. And keep
Take
it
my
contained with it.
medicine.
No,
take
you
the
gotta do
rhino pills.
pitches. You gotta do pitches. Come on.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's your
Do some
thing.
pitches.
Sell yourself.
Sell yourself.
Yeah, check out the workshop, philosophy and writing workshop that we do every Saturday. This one tomorrow is hosted by Laura. Apologies, is continuing their eroticism workshop. It's quite a pleasure. Yeah, we've had some fun weeks recently. We did one on Kids in the Hall in order to kind of revive ourselves after focusing on fascism for a few months, and new stuff is on the way. So patreon.com/Truncata, TRUNCATA. And
Wonderful.
I love you. Kiss me on the mouth.
Oh, cool. As always, the Benzo Rehab Dungeon is and will always be a free broadcast. If you would like to support what we're doing here, which I think is something, please go to patreon.com/Benzo Rehab Dungeon. Give as little or as much as you like. It doesn't get you anything special, but we do appreciate it from the bottom of our heart. We all share one heart, which is why we need money, because that's a complicated surgery.
My blood pressure is so high right now.
But otherwise, yeah, that's it for now. As always, we love you. Please take your medicine.
What the fuck is PDT? Take my medicine too. Take mine too. Take mine too.
And share your Lucy's with your friends.
There you go.
Yeah.
These fucking idiots. I can't believe they listen to this shit.
Yeah.